Kerpix and Jordan Fabian. So we begin the third game of our quadruple header on Thursday. First pitch swinging. Fabian lashes it foul. 5:47 our first pitch time. It's quite a lovely early evening right now in Fayetteville. 78 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. Let's hope it stays that way. Fabian, Leno, and Blampede for this Gamecock team, which defeated Texas A&M yesterday. Their first SEC tournament win in a couple of years. Ball. And they're led by Jordan Fabian, a captain, a fifth-year senior. Fabian yesterday hit by a pitch in that eighth inning rally. That means she's reached base 8 consecutive games, the longest active streak on the team. One of the all-time home run leaders in Carolina softball history. Off speed from Kerpix. That's a deadly pitch.
That's a pitch that she likes to go to a lot of confidence in that pitch, to throw it for a strike, as well as work down in the zone to get hitters to chase it.
And she gets Fabian to chase it. Right on cue, a strikeout to start the night.
Yeah, this is her changeup. It not only moves down, it moves away from Jordan Fabian. Look at how it starts at the knees, and then it ends up at her shoelaces in that left-handed batter's box. Almost got her to chase it. Not going to overwhelm you with speed, low to mid-60s. That changeup and rise ball mix will keep hitters on their toes, and will also mix in a screwball. A pitcher who's more up in the zone with her rise, and then low and slow.
Low and slow against Zoe Leno. 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday for the third baseman, who is finally healthy. Marietta, Georgia native, was in and out of the lineup the last couple of years. Has had a nice season this year. Recovered from a knee injury. .404 on base percentage. 14 extra base hits. Out of play from Leno. 1-1. Very balanced Carolina lineup. Nobody in the starting lineup with more than 6 home runs. Highest on base percentage is Leno at .404. The highest slugging percentage is Blampede at .516. Highest batting average, Brooke Blankenship, .317. And Fabian the most steals. Not a team that is dependent on one player. Pretty young team still. A lot of juniors and a whole bunch of underclassmen for Beverly Smith's South Carolina Gamecocks. Here's Tony Baldwin from the Georgia dugout. His pitcher Kerpix with a 1-2 count. And a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks to start the game.
It's a good pitch for Kerpix. She throws this screwball, moves it a little bit up in the zone too. Zoe Leno, a big swing, pulled her head, and that pitch was moving away from her. 2 strikeouts for Kerpix on her 2 best pitches, that changeup and then more up in the zone.
It's our 5th game together. Have we had a strikeout on a screwball yet?
I don't think so. There aren't too many left anymore. She'll throw it. That changeup. Oh my goodness, that's good.
I like when you as a pitcher get really excited about a pitch. That tells me it's good.
Yeah. I give you my natural reaction. Like if we were watching the game together, that's exactly what I would say.
Batter is Riley Blampede. And Blampede puts one in play to Sarah Mosley. That was a heck of an inning.
To have to be careful with Georgia and all their power when she lives more there.
Her second time pitching against Georgia this season, and she starts with ball 1 to Dallas Goodnight. Dogs hit Bettenball hard in the first meeting. 5 runs, 2 2/3. Goodnight is the rare player in this lineup that's not generally a home run threat. She is a speed demon. High strike given by Chris Neighbors there. Marty Abzetians at first and Brian Crochet at third in our Game 3 umpiring crew. Good night at .379 on base percentage. When she gets on base, she is a great base stealer, 19 of 20. And she will slash that one back to her dugout. Her goal, get on base and let the big boppers behind her drive her in.
Yeah, it's a big pickup for Georgia. They were known for their big boppers and their home run power, and then Dallas Goodnight hits the transfer portal. Know her well, obviously. Played in the SEC and got to see her firsthand. And bringing her in, you have a leadoff hitter that gives you additional speed and can cause some havoc on the base pass and against the defense on the ground.
One season at Alabama, her second here at Georgia. And Goodnight knocks it just foul.
I think I just heard a fan say, yeah, you got it right. It was a close one, and and it was. I mean, it started fair, missed Zoe Leno's glove, and then barely hit on the foul side of third base. No chalk flew up, just dirt. Good call by the umpiring crew here.
So 6-pitch at bat to start. The senior Bettenbaugh. And that's low and away. Georgia 39-12 in the regular season, 16-7 in the SEC. They finished in second. Bulldogs' best SEC record, their most SEC wins anyway since 2018 when they went 16-8. Lost a game this year due to weather. Goodnight fouls another one away. And she is proving to be quite a thorn in Bailey Bettenbaugh's side to start this game.
Kevin, I think that you made a great point when we talked about Bailey Bettenbaugh getting the start in yesterday's game against Texas A&M. It was Carson Oaks who got the start. She was the quote-unquote opener, as Bev Smith likes to call it. Most likely, I mean, nobody's told us anything, but most likely Bailey Bettenbaugh, I would expect for her to be the opener, go one time through, and then bring in Dottie Goborn in the middle of the game. And that, to me, is why it is so important for Georgia to capitalize on this first time through the order against Bettenbaugh, to try to get as many off of her as they can, because if and when Dottie Goborn comes in, it'd be much more difficult to score.
It worked out yesterday. Oaks threw 5 1/3 scoreless, and Donnie's already out in the bullpen. That's down and away. Dallas Goodnight flips the bat, points at her dugout, and jogs down to first, where she is an immediate base-stealing threat after a tone-setting 9-pitch walk.
Bailey Bettenbaugh threw a lot of pitches against Dallas Goodnight. She'll throw in the low 60s, more up spin, and when you look at her batted ball distribution, she gets a lot more fly ball outs than on the ground, and it's going to be really important for her to try to keep the ball in the ballpark, and those become fly balls and not home runs.
Goodnight not going. Julia Desiderio is going to pop out of the crouch anytime Dallas Goodnight's on base in this game. Pitch was a strike to Sarah Mosley.
That pitch was right down the middle.
Ball. You can see it already. Goodnight is taking a larger lead, not an inordinately large lead, and still Desiderio is compelled to look her back. 19 for 20 in steals for Dallas Goodnight. Mosley chases one up.
Yeah, and I mean, you could consider this a bunt situation, but I think that South Carolina thinking with Mosley at the plate, I mean, they're not thinking about the bunt at all. Leno and Blankenship are basically playing in shallow left field and more toward the pull side. Emma Sellers, a second baseman, would be covering for a steal at second.
A fly ball from Mosley with the sunglasses on. Haley Simpson pulls it in. So Sarah Mosley retired. Big hitter for Georgia. That's one of the big boppers cleared, and she'll give Jada Kearney a few words of encouragement. Or Jaden Fields on deck, beg your pardon. Kearney is already ready to go. One on, one out in the first inning of game 3 today. Kearney dummies a bunt. There aren't a lot of those for Jada Kearney. When you hit 18 homers, when you have a slugging percentage of .839, you're not going to be much of a bunt threat because you don't need to be. Very soon, we suspect we will hear Jada Kearney announced as a first-team All-SEC player. She's had that kind of a year.
Ball.
1,325 the OPS. That's on base plus slugging. You're up over 1,000 or so. You're considered an outstanding hitter. She is way over 1,000. Kearney waits back, caught at third base by Leno, who turns a double play. Highway robbery by game. I just saw that Marissa Gonzalez play, Courtney, on that fly ball to left field in the 8th inning off the bat of Rylan Wiggins. It was an emotional ending to the game. And there are teams that are still in the midst of finals this week. Thankfully for South Carolina, they got that out of the way, because this is a crazy enough week as is. Could play up to 5 games in 5 days. Some teams either 3-3 or 4-4 for most. And you also don't know if your scheduled game time is going to be your actual game time. So there is a lot of sitting around waiting for these teams. They got through it with a 1-0 win. They were here in the quarterfinals. Anaya Black, the batter, strings through strike 2. Pretty impressive, though, for South Carolina to grind out that game. So close to scoring in a few innings. Got the lead and then hung on defensively in that bottom of the 8th inning. Another strikeout for Madison Kerpix. That's 3 in the first 4 hitters.
Spins the ball now up in the zone with her rise ball and gets Black. Chase that pitch a little bit up. What a good location for Kerpix to trust her spin. That pitch is not so out of the zone that it's unbelievable for Anaya Black, and she easily takes it. She makes that rise ball jump at the end, which is exactly what she is explaining to her hitting coach, Josh Bloomer, there in the dugout.
No swing there to Julia Desiderio. Desiderio had some big moments at the plate yesterday. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, then doubled in the 5th.
And I really think Georgia wants to come out today on, it is Thursday. I'm losing track of my days. Just wanted to make sure, but I think they want to come out and play a solid game. The way that they ended the regular season, they had to play LSU in a doubleheader on Sunday due to weather, mixing up the schedule. And they didn't play great. And you know how tough it is for a doubleheader. It's either usually going to go your way or not go your way. And LSU had all the momentum. They won both of those games, just had a different look in their eye in Baton Rouge. And Georgia was just a little bit off. Didn't really have the energy. So a chance here to get a bit of a fresh start before the NCAA postseason begins.
Ball.
Tony Baldwin told us he thought the game Friday to open the series was their most complete game of the year. Maddie Kerpix didn't walk anybody. Defense was good. Offensive approach was good. And he said we just didn't answer the call emotionally on Sunday. He was still trying to figure out why not. To 3rd and Mosley.
Well, and this is a team, too, that You know, we talked about Tennessee basically all season because it's like they got to first place early and they never left. And Georgia was just always right there in the 2 spot. It just kind of, we sort of take for granted that Tennessee would win. But then when we talked to Tony Baldwin, it was like, we really thought we had a chance too. Look back at a couple of games that didn't go our way, that we lost late in the game, but easily that could have been us.
Ball.
Ball 1 to Marissa Gonzalez. The Georgia team that finished 2.5 games out of first. The doubleheader sweep, he lamented a 4-run lead. They blew to Arkansas, he lamented.
It's right here on this field.
Maybe, just maybe, they'll get a chance at revenge, but that's still a long way away. Arkansas hasn't even played a game yet. They'll play next against Alabama.
Ball.
2-1 to Gonzalez, who saved the game defensively yesterday. Rylan Wiggins sent a fly ball to the wall, and Gonzalez
2 balls, 1 strike.
took away what at least would have been an extra base hit, knocking the ball down and then catching it on the way to the ground. And that one gets past the drawn-in Mosley, so it's Marissa Gonzalez, the first Gamecock to reach.
Yeah, I think what made that play just so much better, Kevin, is the fact that it was hit off of the first pitch. You know, you had that long break, then Rylan Wiggins comes up, and boom, is aggressive the first pitch of the at-bat. Marissa Gonzalez, you could easily just be on your heels, not focused to start up the game again, and she tracked down that ball and got a really big first. I can't remember if that was the first out.
That was the first out.
First out of the inning. Okay. I didn't know if that was the inning that already had an out that we came back, but really big out against Rylan Wiggins late in the game.
Yeah, we've tried to forget a lot of the stuff that happened yesterday.
It was a long day. Long day.
Yeah. South Carolina's going to use Hannah Hawley here as a pinch hitter for Haley Simpson. And Hawley will pinch pop out. So 2 scoreless for Kerpix. Georgia and South Carolina trying to get the Arkansas-Alabama winner. No score here. Dogs and Gamecocks. Ball 1 to Jaden Fields. Fields, Davis, Kuma. The middle of the Georgia order. And Jaden Fields back in the cleanup spot after being moved down last weekend.
Yeah, it looked like what we just showed when we were watching Courtney Deifel walk into the field. Looked like she hugged Danielle Gibson, who's a former player here at Arkansas and now is on staff and in the dugout at Georgia. Has made a big difference of their hitters. You can see her standing there at the front of the dugout, and somebody who just sees hitting and the game a little bit different than Tony Baldwin. Both really good at speaking swings and the offensive part of the game. But something that, you know, Tony told us, like, I'm not the type of coach that sees patterns and picks pitches and tendencies. He's so good at teaching the swing and communicating with hitters about other things, but something that Danielle Gibson actually really thrives at doing and has added to this Georgia offense.
It's popped up by Fields. Brooke Blankenship is there. It is unusual to see Danielle Gibson in a Georgia hat.
Yeah, definitely. They played here in the regular season too, and she got to throw out the first pitch, had a bit of a homecoming, and now she's right back in Fayetteville. I'm sure she's excited to be back here. Made a big impact for Arkansas's SEC championships, and I'm sure they missed her dearly.
2-time All-American. Amazing college career, led Arkansas to the SEC titles a year ago. They hosted a super regional. Strike to Lindy Ray Davis.
And you can tell too that she's just so invested. I mean, she's in every pitch, communicating with almost every hitter. And like Tony Baldwin said too, it's not, you know, not every hitter is going to want to hear about the tendencies and pick pitches and stuff. Everybody thinks differently, but the hitters who do think like that have really connected with her. And he said, of course, her age helps too. You know, they just got done watching her career and have success here at Arkansas. A lot of respect for her.
One of the really improved hitters in the lineup, Lindy Ray Davis, with 10 doubles, 4 homers. She has big power, but almost never strikes out. In an 0-2 hole here, though. And Davis hits a slow grounder to Blankenship, who makes a good throw.
Now at number 6, Kuma.
Here's one of the nation's most dangerous six-hitters. Sydney Kuma, .463 on base percentage. And how about more home runs than strikeouts? 11 of the former, just 10 of the latter. Kuma, ground ball to Sellers, and a 1-2-3 inning for Bettenball. Before the Goborn switches.
The University of Georgia. Now, she originally committed to Louisville, reopened her recruitment, and now she is playing for her dream school.
And playing for her dream school in the SEC tournament, where she just hit Emma Sellers. Well, it took South Carolina 2 innings to get hit by a pitch today. They were hit by 5 yesterday, 3 of them in the decisive 8th inning, and Sellers is hit by a pitch for the 2nd straight game. To go back to what Courtney was saying with Madison Kerpix, it's a pretty special story, and Louisville has a nice softball program and is having a good year, but to be a Georgia kid, to get the chance to do this for your school in Aswanee, Georgia. Pitched a little bit as a freshman, and then as the next 2 years have gone on, she's become more and more an important part of this team.
Yeah, she has. And last year there was a lot of pressure put on her because they didn't have as deep of a pitching staff as they would have liked. She threw a lot of innings.
That bunt popped up by Blankenship, and Fields is there.
But this year you can tell that that experience in SEC play especially paid off for her, and knowing too that she has Shelby Walters on staff, a transfer from Duke. Really confident, worked with Chelsea Wilkinson, the pitching coach at Georgia, for an extra year, who's just a really great pitching coach. All that playing to her favor.
Remember 2 years ago when Georgia made it to the World Series, it was with a good offense, but really on the right arm of Mary Wilson-Avan. Couple of years where they did not have a terribly deep pitching staff, and you can't really call this one a deep staff either, but it has 2 legitimate aces. There goes the runner on a delayed steal. Sellers is out at second base. What a pick and tag by Ellie Armistead, flying in from shortstop.
Ellie Armistead is a really special and talented shortstop who has grown defensively this year, and this throw by Lindy Ray Davis is right into the slide of Emma Sellers. South Carolina is so good at stealing bases this season and base running in general. Over 100 stolen bases for them, and Lindy Ray Davis is ready for it. She knows the scouting report, ready to throw somebody out at second. She got her.
Davis has now caught 5 out of 13 base stealers, and she had some help from her shortstop, who has provided some defensive wizardry all season long.
1-2. Ball.
Another strikeout. Kerpix with 4 in the game. She's through 3 scoreless innings with a little help from her friend at shortstop. On the bubble to be one of the 16 hosts. Now, you win a couple of games in the SEC tournament, we think they'll be off the bubble. How do you evaluate this Georgia team and their chance to be one of those 16 hosts.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be right there with it. I would maybe 13, 14. I feel like it's just a big jumble right there. I don't know, anywhere after like 10. But we talked to Tony Baldwin about it. He's like, look, we had a bad 4-day stretch in February, and since then we played pretty good teams and we played pretty well. He goes like, yeah, we're going to be a top 16, but missed out on the opportunity, it seemed like, to hop into the top 8. Nice pitch by Bettenball.
Her first strikeout, she gets Jaden Goodwin.
Screwball, outside corner, gets her to chase off the plate.
Two pitchers with screwball strikeouts. That's a first for us.
Yeah, it's different.
Ball.
Well, we are almost one time through the order now. Sydney Chamblee in the designated player spot. Then Ellie Armistead, and then Georgia's 9 batters will have all hit.
Ball.
And even though Bailey Bettenball is throwing well, it was about one time through the order when that young woman right there, Donnie Goborn, came in yesterday. Coco Woolley batted for second time and singled, and then Goborn entered. So how close are we to the Goborn activation?
Ball.
I like that. See if that can catch some steam.
80 pitches came back after the 4-hour-plus weather delay. Velocity, command were worse in the 8th, but she still didn't give a hit. I mean, what do you think? You keep rolling with Bettenball, or do you think the plan is not much longer than one time through the order?
Yeah, I think you could see what Dallas Goodnight does. Kind of take the same approach that they did against A&M with Carson Oaks.
Chamblee flares one the other way. Well hit in the left, and Sydney Chamblee lights up the scoreboard for Georgia. That is about as high speed a home run trot as you're ever going to see. A home run sprint for Chamblee, whose 8th long ball gives the Dogs the lead.
Georgia is so good at hitting for power the opposite way, no matter if you're a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter, and you could see Chamblee get behind this pitch. I mean, that is a no-doubter off of her bat. She knew it, and then looked like she was giving somebody in the dugout credit. I have a hunch that it was Danielle Gibson that she pointed at after she rounded first.
Her 8th home run of the season, and the junior from Dallas, Georgia, makes it 1-0 Dogs. Ellie Armistead will follow with a pop-out. There's the Savage chain. Sydney Chamblee gets to wear it after the home run. The 81st of the season for the SEC's home run leading team. And Sydney Chamblee with the 28th of her career. So Bettenball stays in there for the second time through the order. Throws a strike to Goodnight. And there is Danielle Gibson. You had a hunch maybe she was pointing to her, and look at the smile on Sydney's face as she goes over the at-bat. Hello, friends. It's the home run ball right there.
The best part is going up to the plate with a plan and then executing the plan the way that Sydney Chamblee did. To see your hard work pay off that way and have so much focus, and these athletes are working so hard, and to see that emotion off the bat of hers.
Goodnight slaps one to short, and Blankenship just got her at first. So that ends the inning, but Georgia strikes first.
Georgia has power against a very good offense who had some motivation coming into this tournament.
Her offense has the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Zoe Leno with a swing through, strike one from Madison Kerpix. And that pitch number for Kerpix pretty low. 32 pitches in the first 3 innings.
Ball.
There's the high pitch that Bev Smith wants her batters to lay off of after Leno swung at one. Leno, Blampede, and Black for South Carolina. Let's go beyond the box score with Zoe Leno. Only wrote in cursive from 4 to 8 years old. When did you write in cursive?
1 ball, 2
I
strikes.
think probably 10 or 11.
I think I probably started around maybe 8, 9, maybe a little before that.
Yeah.
4-year-old writing script. That is impressive.
Okay, and her name is really difficult to write in cursive too, because there's a Z and an X, and those letters always were hard for me writing in cursive.
Those were the two that tripped you up, the Z and it. The Q, the capital Q,
Yeah.
is just a killer.
Yes.
Whoever decided that's the way a Q should look in cursive should have been immediately fired from whatever they were doing. Leno takes a high, 3rd strike. That's 5 Ks for Kerpix.
Look at the location of this pitch and her ability to get this rise ball underneath the hands of Zoe Leno. Froze her, expecting something different, possibly expecting her to go to that changeup that's been so good today.
Are you the head coach?
Here's Riley Blampede with one away.
Ball.
Blampede grounded out to 3rd her first time.
Ball.
SEC leader in doubles a season ago, Riley Blampede. A little bit down this year, but has 13 of them. 2 years ago, she was a hitter with a 190 average, on base 214. She's grown so much in her game. And she slams one here, high into left field. Does it have enough? It sure does! Riley Blampede will stampede around the bases, and she has gone deep to tie the game.
It's like if Madison Kerpix is going to continue to throw this rise ball and the umpire is going to call the top of the zone for a strike, then go up and look for it. Blampede gets on top of this rise ball, or at least that's probably what she was telling herself in her head, to connect with this pitch. Dallas Goodnight runs against the wall, loses her glove to the back of the wall. We'll see if she's able to actually get that back. But South Carolina answers right back, trading home run blows.
And there is the Goodnight glove. The glove, the ball, and almost that woman in the front row all went flying. That's the young lady that recovered the glove. But a home run by Blampede has tied the game.
Ball.
And Riley Blampede has now driven in both South Carolina runs in the tournament.
Hitters count, Riley Blampede knew what she was looking for. Just going and doing your homework and looking for a certain speed, looking for up in the zone, not getting fooled by that changeup. And now you can see that past couple of pitches from Kerpix has not had good command, maybe a little bit rattled after that home run.
As a team,
Ball.
Gamecocks came into the game tied with LSU for the fewest home runs in the SEC this season. Georgia, the team with the most home runs. And right now they're even.
Ball.
4-pitch walk to Anaya Black.
And oftentimes, similar to South Carolina, where they'll start an opener and they'll bring in Donnie Goborn. Georgia is really keen on getting Madison Kerpix to start and then Shelby Walters coming in relief. They feel like that order really works best for them. It's something that they figured out along the way this year.
Aaliyah White will pinch run now for Anaya Black.
Here we go.
So good speed at first. The batter is Julia Desiderio. And Desiderio is out front.
Really great stat here, Kevin, is Josh Bloomer is the new hitting coach for South Carolina, who was a big get for their team. He had a lot of offensive success at Duke, and with their program put up big home run numbers. And when you looked at South Carolina's percentage of ground balls put in play, last year was 52%. This year, just 41%.
Ball.
Starting to drive the ball more with him, and I think the progression of him rubbing off on these players, you already start to see it a little bit, I think, within their at-bats and some results, but I think take a couple of seasons to really start to pay off, and you'll start to see them put up big offensive numbers. He's a great hitting coach.
Most of this team is eligible to return next year. Fabian's a senior. Haley Simpson, who's the 7-hitter, is a senior.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1.
And you never know in the transfer portal world, but most of the Gamecocks should be back next year. White, the runner at first, a good base stealer, hasn't gone yet. And she will go on a ball fouled away.
They're getting much better swings off of Kerpix in this inning. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shelby Walters come in soon. In fact, I think Tony Baldwin just walked down through the tunnel to go check out Kerpix and possibly see if she's ready.
Desiderio's had some good swings in the tournament. And she'll take one. There goes White. She is safe. Thought maybe Armistead would have another swipe tag for an out. But Aaliyah White steals her 12th and 13 tries.
Aaliyah White has so much speed, goes in hard, doesn't slow down to slide, gets her hand. Ooh, tag actually looked like it beat her hand.
Yeah, Georgia waited a little while here.
Only have 30 seconds.
They may have used about 29.9996, but Tony Baldwin gets the challenge in.
Georgia's challenge in play second base.
Remember, this is a South Carolina team that smashed the school record for steals, and Sellers was caught last inning, and they might well be 0 for 2. It's up to the SEC Video Center in Birmingham now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear that this could be changed. Great throws.
The play at second base is overturned. The runner is out.
How about that?
Lindy Ray Davis shutting down the run game for South Carolina. And as a catcher, you have to get so excited when you look at the stat sheet, know that you're going up against a team that likes to steal. You know that you're going to have a chance to throw somebody out as soon as somebody gets to first base. And Lindy Ray Davis has stepped up to the challenge.
3-2 for Desiderio now. This pop-up is caught by Fields in foul territory. But Carolina ties it. Struck out 6 in the win over Texas A&M. What's she going to have in the tank after 80 pitches? She's going to have 70. Inside corner, perfect spot. Strike one to the 2-hitter, Sarah Mosley. Leah White stays in the game to play right field. Goborn in for Bettenbaugh. And Mosley hitting it toward that new right fielder. White will get an immediate chance.
Donnie Goborn is going to bring the heat, and she's going to pitch more up in the zone. She throws a rise, fastball, and a changeup. Yesterday, we saw her stick more up in the zone against Texas A&M. She has electric movement, more up, and then it was her changeup. Oh, that was working so good. The best that she has thrown that changeup all year was in yesterday's game. The most swings and misses that she will get will be in that red area that you just saw, more up in the zone. But she can beat you down the heart of the plate because she has some late break, and she throws 74 miles an hour.
Ball.
It's down and into Jada Kearney. Goborn, who began her college career in junior college, Santa Fe Junior College. She came to college as a shortstop. Florida Atlantic from there, her final year of college ball at South Carolina in the SEC, and she will take her game into the NCAA tournament. She burns Kearney at 73. This is a big swinger, big bat. 18 home runs for Jada Kearney, and she was just blown away.
Ball.
Kearney top 6 in the SEC, slugging and on base percentage. She will hit one up the middle and through. Softly hit, but good enough contact for the first hit Donnie Goborn has allowed in this SEC tournament.
A piece of hitting by Jada Kearney. She shortens up and she lets this pitch get a little bit deeper, decides late. Inside pitch, she was a little bit back off the plate, just anticipating the speed of Donnie Goborn on the inside corner. Gets her barrel there. Jada Kearney, she's so good.
One on, one out. 1-1 game in the fourth. Strike one to Jaden Fields. How would you try to beat Donnie Goborn?
See the ball down and be on time for 70, 73 miles an hour. The biggest things, and I would just leave that changeup alone. That changeup is just some eye candy and just fools you. And that's, we talk about seeing the ball down against her, and it's what makes that pitch so deceptive, because when she throws her changeup, it is more down. So you get excited thinking, okay, this is it. I'm seeing the ball down. This isn't a rise ball. And then it drops about 15, 20 mile an hour.
Georgia did pretty well in the regular season against her. A lot of strikeouts, but a lot of walks.
Ball.
It's outside. Now, when you say see the ball down on a rise ball pitcher like Donnie Goborn, where is down?
I think it can vary from pitcher to pitcher, because some are going to have a little bit more break, some she's going to have a little bit more spin to make it deceptive. So Donnie has the ability to throw that rise ball about belt high, and she can get some chases like what Kearney did well out of the zone. That's a great take right there by Jaden Fields to not chase that pitch. And I'm sure Donnie is thinking, dang it, why aren't you swinging at that? Not like people do.
So is it about the belt? When you say see it down, you want to see it at the belt? Okay. As a drop ball pitcher, you see it down. A lot different than Donnie Goborn seeing it down.
Yeah.
3-1. Fields, whoa, she got something to hit right there.
And that's what I was talking about, that she can throw that pitch there. I mean, she doesn't necessarily want to throw every pitch there, right, because it's over the heart of the plate, but she has the ability to beat you with speed right over the heart of the plate and still get you to swing and miss.
Jaden Fields strikes out swinging.
So the pitch before to get herself back into the count was this just speed blown by Jada Kearney. That was a setup pitch for this pitch. Similar locations. Maybe took a mile or two off of this last pitch. Right at the knees, kind of moving away from her two. She'll throw a rise ball, a two-seam fastball, and that changeup.
So the first strikeout for Gobourne tonight. Fields retired, and Lindy Ray Davis batting. Davis takes one a little bit low. Sophomore from Calhoun, Georgia. Was only 1 for 7 against South Carolina in the regular season, but did double and drive in a pair. Teams played just a couple of weekends ago. Georgia swept the series April 21st through the 23rd. Won 2-1. Run ruled South Carolina 9-1 and 5, and then won 3-0. In the air from Davis, and Leno will end the inning. Donnie Gobourne is in and out of the 4th inning at a 1-1 tie. One more quarterfinal game tonight. Alabama and Arkansas, and then Tennessee, Florida pushed to tomorrow morning because we only got 3 games in yesterday due to the 4-hour weather delay in the middle of the Gamecock game. Well, really in the middle of the end of the Gamecock game. Marissa Gonzalez against Madison Kerpix, 5th inning, and the number 6 hitter Gonzalez muscles it foul.
I bet that game is going to be packed tonight. Alabama always draws a big crowd no matter where they go, and Montana Fouts usually is a big part of that. Alabama as a program draws good crowds, but Montana Fouts is one of the most popular college softball players, so everybody wants to come out and see her, and then of course see the home team, the Razorbacks.
It'll be a really, really special event.
Ball.
We already have some people that are outside the fence and outside the stadium getting a free spot, and there will be a lot more onlookers outside the stadium to join those folks. So just try to get a piece of the action. A possible Fouts-Dels duel. You know, we got a taste of that. March 20th, we actually had 2 Montana Fouts and East Dels games, but Monday, March 20th in Tuscaloosa, Arkansas beat Alabama 2-1. Both Dels and Fouts threw 10-inning complete games. Both threw over 170 pitches.
We were there for that one, Kevin, and I really felt like that series was a turning point for Arkansas. Really young team, just took a little while to find their identity. They graduated so many seniors and big name players and impactful players, and I felt like that Alabama series at Tuscaloosa, you just saw them grow up a little bit, and then after all that they lost, finishing still in the top 4 in the SEC, incredible.
They're starting 1-3 in the league. Strike 3 there. Kerpix picks up her 6th strikeout.
Alice for another strikeout, mixing both of those pitches.
Tony Baldwin talked to us about Madison Kerpix changeup. He said she can throw it at any count. There's a lot of spin to it. Facing Hannah Hawley. Hawley muscles one into left field, and that is going to be caught on the warning track by Goodwin.
Good swing there by Hawley. I'm talking to Coach Baldwin earlier this year too about Madison Kerpix and his pitching staff, as they really kept an eye on Madison Kerpix, that generally whenever she pitched she'd have a high pitch count. Today done a good job of keeping that pitch count down. A lot of efficient batters where she's getting ahead 0-2, 1-2.
Two out, nobody on for Emma Sellers.
Ball.
Kerpix now this season, 15 innings, 2 runs allowed against South Carolina. Struck out 16, walked 4.
Ball.
Emma Sellers hit by a pitch her first time. She has not put a ball in play in this tournament. Yesterday, strikeout, walk, hit by pitch. Today, hit by a pitch.
2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1. Ball. Three balls, 1 strike. 3-1.
Just a 193 hitter, Sellers. Only 6 walks on the year. Takes the strike.
You know, Kerpix just throws, 61 to 64 miles an hour at her hardest, but the way that she throws her changeup, that speed feels so much more firm because you're constantly thinking about her changing speeds and being able to drop it down to 51, 54. So it feels faster when she brings it up and inside.
Left field for Sellers, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Madison Kerpix. 1-1
Of the way from junior college to FAU to now at South Carolina.
Courtney, first of all, great job by you getting to chat with Donnie's mom, and Chandra able to raise Donnie and her other daughters, and from what we've been able to see in the circle, has raised one extraordinary athlete. This ball belted. Sydney Kuma takes Coburn up the alley, left center field. Kuma's got a double, and the leadoff runner to second for the Dogs against Coburn.
Yeah, Georgia is doing a really good job of handling this inside speed thrown against him from Donnie Coburn. Sydney Kuma is a little bit off the plate, gives herself some more room on the inner half, and Jada Kearney did the exact same thing. Kearney and Kuma's swings looking very similar. Inside pitch, driving it right back up the middle. Extra bases for Sydney Kuma. That's their first runner in scoring position for Georgia. They've been hard to come by in the SEC tournament against South Carolina's pitching.
Jaden Goodwin.
Ball.
Wow, Desiderio lost her glove. Grabbed the ball with her bare hands to hold Kuma at second.
So 2 times in this game, somebody's glove comes off. Desiderio expecting that pitch more up in the zone, and it's so tough to react to that, especially at 70 miles an hour.
Goodwin, a bunt down to the first baseman, Fabian, who throws to the second baseman, Sellers. And Jaden Goodwin has her second sacrifice bunt of the year to move Kuma up to third.
Good execution.
Only the 16th sacrifice of the year for Georgia. But when you're facing Donnie Coburn, you take a base any way you can get it. Sydney Chambly. A strike to Georgia's home run hitter from the third, who apparently has not had the smile leave her face. Still looks confident. She has that kind of personality. They talked about her leadership for 3 years. She's down 0-2. She's going to try to do what she did in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, this was off of Bailey Bettenbaugh. Went up looking for a pitch up in the zone, tied up this game. Sydney Chamley got to wear the chain because of the home run swing.
Going to bring in a runner now, anyway, anyhow. Chamley strikes out. She was way behind it. And Gobourne picks up out number 2.
I think that as soon as Donnie Gobourne got ahead with that first pitch, she's like, yep, I'm going right at you with my speed. I'm not messing around. Try to catch up to this. The pop of the glove, she throws 70+ miles an hour. She is so good. What a big strikeout to the home run hitter with a runner at 3rd base, less than 2 outs.
Georgia now 0 for 6 with runners on base in the game. 0-1 to Ellie Armistead in the 9th spot. In fact, nobody has gotten a hit with a runner on base against South Carolina this tournament. A&M was 0 for 6 yesterday in those spots. Georgia's 0 for 6 today.
So little quick math, that was 8 innings against A&M, right? And then almost 5 innings, so 13 innings. Could do a little quick math. Didn't even need a calculator for that one.
12 2/3 technically, but
Okay.
that would have been too quick math.
Just round it on up.
1-1 to Armistead. Ellie Armistead, junior shortstop. Really good two-way player this season. 298 hitter, 346 on base. Has always been a defender. Now she's hitting. Tries to bunt with a runner at 3rd and 2 out.
I like the confidence, Kevin, that we're hearing from these pitchers in this tournament. When Madison Kerpix included, we hear her in the dugout, but Donnie Gobourne after the game talking to Courtney, and then also Maddie Penta after the game talking to Courtney as well. Just these interviews, you're hearing some really confident pitchers, and I feel like the pitching in the SEC just in general took a step forward because of the years that Penta had, and adding Donnie Gobourne, of course, Montana Fouts, Ashley Rogers, and then Carlin Pickens coming to the SEC, and Peyton Gottschall. I mean, the big name, the big dominant pitchers within the SEC has grown, and I think you're hearing them talk confidently about their stuff.
Must have been a chore for all SEC voters this year to pick some pitchers.
Yeah.
Armistead with a good take, off speed and away to run the count full.
You see that one was a little bit faster. That one is 62. I think that when her changeup is her best, it's about 55.
The go-ahead runner is Kuma at 3rd. 3-2. Struck her out. 71 red-hot miles per hour. Here we are, tie game, late innings. What else is new? Shelby Walters, that's what's new. New pitcher for Georgia. Madison Kerpix, terrific. 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. But Georgia loves to do this. They love to throw one, finish with the other. And it is the Duke transfer Walters, who's been Georgia's best pitcher this season, on to face Brooke Blankenship. Number 9 hitter, a ground ball to her counterpart, Armistead.
Yeah, that's what she's going to do. She's going to give a different look than what Maddie Kerpix did. Madison Kerpix, more rise ball changeup. Shelby Walters, the transfer from Duke, the senior, had a really strong year. 1.34 ERA, about 150 innings pitched. And you know that South Carolina is going to have a good game plan against her because her old coach is in the opposing dugout right now for South Carolina, Josh Bloomer. I've seen her pitch a lot.
Josh Bloomer, hitting coach at Duke. Shelby Walters, first 4 years at Duke. Josh is like, I've seen this before, just from the other dugout.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he picked up much, because in Shelby Walters' last full year at Duke, Nobody could hit her. 19-3, had a 1.28 ERA. Last year, only 6 games, suffered a foot injury. Devastating injury to a Duke team that had really high expectations. And Walters, after graduating, uses her final year of eligibility here at Georgia. She has helped carry this team to the 2 seed.
Pretty change up right there. Love it. It's a really good 1-2 punch, and it has made a difference for this Georgia team to have her on the staff. It's made a tremendous difference for Madison Kerpix when you looked at her numbers from last year to this year, not having to carry the entire season on her shoulders.
Fabian chases strike 3, and Walters strikes out Fabian. The 3rd time Jordan Fabian has struck out in the game.
Now they've had her numbered today. Walters going with the curveball, also moves just a little bit down too. Jordan Fabian, big swing, pulls her head. Shelby Walters with her first strikeout.
Top 2 hitters in the lineup, Fabian and Leno, 0 for 5, 5 Ks. Strike 1 to Leno.
Just talking about the depth of the pitching in the SEC this year. I mean, Shelby Walters is just another prime example of how the pitching is taking a step forward, I think. Madison Kerpix is a good example. Think of Georgia and their offense, but their pitching staff and defense has done a good job this year. And I feel like, too, the SEC is getting some big coaches, too. When we're talking about defense in Georgia, JT D'Amico, who came over from Washington, one of the best defensive coaches in the country, and Josh Bloomer from Duke, Trisha Ford from Arizona State, and several others that have come to the SEC to coach.
One ball, 2 strikes. 1-2.
4th best ERA in the SEC this season. Shelby Walters. 1-2 for Leno. Should say 3rd best among qualified pitchers. Ashley Rogers, Maddie Penta were the only 2 better than Walters. Georgia's going to have the top of the lineup card. Goodnight, Mosley, and Kearney against Gobourne in the 6th. There's Jada Kearney. And Zoe Leno strikes out for the 3rd with an SEC tournament semifinal spot still up for grabs. Top of the order against Donnie Gobourne. It is Goodnight, Mosley, Kearney in this 1-1 game. Coming up next, Arkansas, Alabama, 4 of the 5 seeds, and the most hotly anticipated quarterfinal game. Beth Mowens, Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, Holly Rowe will have the call of that one. The Razorbacks waiting to play on their home field in front of what should be an electric crowd, and the Tide looming as well.
So much fun to watch Donnie Gobourne pitch with just how aggressive she is. You see, takes her time in between pitches, and then it's like when she starts, it's a burst of energy. Her arm speed is unreal. Her leg drive is strong.
Little check swing chopper to Leno. And Goodnight is retired to begin the 6th. Now the big boppers. Sarah Mosley with 16 homers. Gobourne starts her with an off-speed strike.
It's been a different year for Sarah Mosley, at least at the start of the year, because it seemed like last year she just kind of snuck into the lineup and quietly was one of the best hitters in the SEC. Opponents were really more worried about Lacey Fincher and Jada Kearney, and Sarah Mosley was protected. And now it's like, okay, we're not falling for that anymore. We're targeting you. We have a star next to your name. And started out slower in the year for her and has gotten better and more comfortable as the year has gone on.
Yeah, her numbers are down this season. They're down to an OPS of 1132 and 16 homers. But that's the kind of year she had. Last year was over 1,200 OPS, first team All-SEC. And they're happy they've been able to keep her healthy. Started every game at third base this year.
And Tony Baldwin talked about how well Sarah Mosley sees the ball. And it helps her because she sees the ball so well that she doesn't have to get sped up. So it's amazing that she can read the ball better than most. Really good hand-eye coordination. Doesn't have to get ahead of herself and decide too early, especially off of Donnie. It's a good take right there, and she identified that pitch well.
Two balls, two strikes, 2-2.
Right center field. That ball is laced. That ball is trouble. She's going to turn for two. Blampied's throw is not in time. And chalk up a two-bagger for Sarah Mosley.
Because she identifies where the ball is going so well and better than most, she didn't get fooled by the changeup. So that way she could let the 70 miles an hour pitch get deep. Recognized it well. Typical Georgia right-handed hitter swing is using the right center field gap. They have a G on the wall.
And I don't think Jada Kearney's going to get a chance for that RBI. South Carolina will intentionally walk her.
I mean, you think about it, and to me, it's not really a tough decision. You have first base open. You have Jaden Fields on deck, who struck out her last at bat, didn't look great against Gobourne. Set up a force at third. A lot of positives to work around Jada Kearney, one of the best hitters in the country.
All right, what do you think Danielle Gibson just told Jaden Fields?
Now they're going to have to mess with you. She's so positive, gives them tons of words of encouragement before they go up to hit. They feel really good about themselves stepping in the box.
Jaden Fields, fifth-year senior. Had a home run against South Carolina earlier this year. Big hits in her career. Think back to 2 years ago when Georgia snapped that epic Oklahoma win streak, and Fields had the walk-off in Athens in a midweek game. So redshirt in 2019. Didn't play much in 2020. She's a big pace now. Fields thought about it. Gobourne didn't get it.
She's shocked. I think that may have taken by surprise a bit, but man, that worked in the favor of Jada Kearney. Remember, coming to the SEC tournament, Kevin, Tony Baldwin told us that I got really caught up in what Tony Baldwin told us about Jaden Fields. Felt like she was not far away from getting hot.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1.
Was down to 7th last weekend. She's back up to 4th. Trying to make an impact in a tie game. Fields, right field. White is underneath it. Runner's tag. And the pinch runner, Eaton, will go to 3rd as Kearney holds at first on out number 2.
Now at number 11, Lindy Ray Davis.
So Georgia now 0 for 7 runners on base, 0 for 3 runners in scoring position. And it'll be Lindy Ray Davis. Ground out to short, foul out to third tonight. Player with excellent bat-to-ball skills. Only 11 strikeouts on the year. Davis goes the other way into left field, and it's caught! Gonzalez does it again!
You at home probably.
Yeah. If you'd have jumped off your couch at that one, check your pulse. So 1-1 still.
Ball.
And the heart of the order up for South Carolina against Shelby Walters. Blampede, Black, Desiderio, and oh, by the way, anybody gets on, it'll be Gonzalez.
Ball.
2-0 for Riley Blampede. The South Carolina team at 10 seed last year. They finished under 500. They were the worst team in the SEC. Lost in the opening round game in the 12-13. Ground ball, second base, Kuma, one away.
And we've seen all types of different games in the SEC tournament already.
Now batting number 1.
Oh, pitcher's duel going on. Love it.
Yeah, we're coming off of 8-7.
It had a little bit of everything.
Anaya Black returns to the game for White. Strikeout to walk for Anaya Black. Batting against Georgia. A transfer from Georgia. You want a little narrative? Here's your possible narrative. Didn't play much with the Dogs, transferred within the conference. And now she's got her old team in a tie game in the final inning in the quarters. Bev Smith said they always feel like they have a shot with Anaya Black at the plate. And look, there's just not a lot of spots in this Georgia lineup. So she's found a home. Flails one into right, and her old teammate Kearney makes the play. Let's take a look at Embrace the If, brought to you by Regions. If South Carolina wins, they would join 2019's Auburn Tigers as the second double-digit seed to reach the SEC semifinals. What a turnaround it's been. A season ago, South Carolina went 3-21 in the SEC. 3-21. They've been the 13 seed 2 years running. They went 9-15 this year, the 10 seed. They beat Texas A&M yesterday. And they've got Georgia in a 1-1 game here. Time called with Julia Desiderio and a 1-0 count.
I have to say, this year in this SEC tournament has the most random called conferences within innings for offensive and defensive both.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
2023 wins in that category.
Hey, we've been tracking that.
No, but we didn't know to, but now we do.
Well, Josh Bloomer obviously saw something there. And again, remember, it's his former pitcher, Shelby Walters. They were at Duke together.
Ball.
Some say the transfer portal is good for the sport. Some say it's bad. We say it sure can build a story. to shortstop. Took a flat hop. Armistead made a clean throw. Sydney Kuma, who doubled her last at-bat, will lead off. Classic in the nightcap. Maybe a classic in the making here, though. Donnie Gobourn in relief yet again. Now 8 1/3 innings of shutout ball in this SEC tournament. Sydney Kuma leading off the inning for Georgia with a chance for the Dogs to walk off. They've only walked off once this year. It was March 11th. Jada Kearney hit a 10th inning homer against Auburn. You hit 81 home runs, you're probably not going to have a lot of chances to walk off teams.
South Carolina is going to be a lot for somebody to deal with as a 2 seed in the regional, Kevin. I mean, you look at how they've played in last night's game and in today's game and how sharp their pitching staff has been. Their pitching staff is going to be what keeps them in the game. South Carolina is normally not going to score a ton of runs, but they've gotten a lot of good practice, good postseason practice in the past 2 games. And their pitchers have lived up to the bill. I mean, opponents have not gotten on very many runners against them, but when they have, South Carolina's pitchers have stepped up and been so good, limiting any damage.
0 for 14 against him with runners on base. Kuma a little bit out in front. That lands foul. That is not within the boundaries of the stadium.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 2.
They might be watching the game on their app.
It's going to be a nice night. I mean, there's just people lined up all along the outfield and beyond the fence, out by the field, or out by the street, I mean.
You take it back. No, you take it. Oh, I'll take it. I don't know if we can get a spot on the berm after we're done working here.
Georgia's dugout is really getting loud right now, too. You hear Madison Kerpix. If you're wondering what that sound is in the background, that kind of seems like an alien at times or a dolphin, that's Madison Kerpix. It's her contribution to the dugout is that dolphin sound.
There it is. And Kuma strikes out. She went fishing. And Gobourn has a strikeout.
Gets her first strikeout with this changeup. Pops it out of her hand. Kuma guessing. Slows it down. I love the way that that's not only moving down, but moving away from her. That pitch. And Donnie Gobourn is going to be so much to handle in the NCAA postseason.
Ball.
Maybe Donnie trained for this game last night by watching YouTube videos of dolphin calls. You know, sometimes teams play the opposing fight song in practice.
Yeah, sure she did.
Thanks for backing me up. Strike to Jaden Goodwin. Donnie Gobourn, what an arm. It's the first South Carolina player to be drafted professionally since Sammy Garcia 2013. She was picked in the WPF draft, women's professional fast pitch. She nearly hit Chris Neighbors in the head. We are neutral observers here. We just hope we get to see Donnie Gobourn get some good innings in the NCAA tournament and get to show what she can do on a national stage. Zips in, strike 2 to Jaden Goodwin.
Think about seeing South Carolina come to your regional and thinking, man, we have to hit off of Donnie Gobourn, and if Auburn doesn't get a national seed, they'll be a 2 seed somewhere and have to face Maddie Penta.
2-2. And Georgia, again, we think they'll be a 1 seed. They're 15 in the RPI, but it's no sure thing. 16 teams are seeded and get to host.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-2.
Goborn's 2-2. Goodwin strikes out swinging, and Donnie Goborn has 2 punch-outs here in the 7th.
I mean, it looks like the pitch can just be right there. Sometimes it'll be more over the middle of the plate. Other times it'll be on the corner just like this. That's a low rise ball in the outside corner. Has a little jump at the end, and back-to-back strikeouts for Donnie in the 7th.
Sidney Chambly. Just a little bit low.
That changeup is definitely more erratic in this game than the way that she threw it in yesterday's game against A&M, when that pitch was just incredible.
Georgia has a run because of this Sidney Chambly swing.
Lots of excitement from this one. Hunting a pitch more up in the zone. Good to see her smile after that one. That was a good moment in this game, just watching her round the bases and celebrate that home run.
Time taken by Desiderio. When it gets there, they'll use the same strategy. Got to get another out first.
I mean, she's just so much fun to watch. You just haven't seen a pitcher in a really long time overpower you the way that Donnie Goborn overpowers hitters.
Ball.
We asked the folks on the set yesterday what Donnie Goborn looks like, who she reminds them of. Caleb Rose said Kelly Barnhill. That's overpowering. Two at 2.
Yeah, Kayla did a throwback to Ivy Renfro from Tennessee too. So
Yeah, Tori said Kelly Barnhill. That's
yeah,
right. Kayla
yeah.
said Ivy Renfro. Sorry, Tori. Three-2 for Chambly. And say good night. Donnie, be good. We are going to extras once again in Fayetteville.
Running out of adjectives.
Georgia pitching has retired 10 in a row as we take the field for extras. Shelby Walters 6 straight.
Ball.
And she starts with a ball on Marissa Gonzalez. Now here we are again, South Carolina. 2 runs in 15 innings and yet a chance for 2 wins. This South Carolina team, which had a losing record last year, 35-19. You've gotten to see them up close now for 2 full games and then some. What do you make of them?
Yeah, I thought even back in March that they were improved, and you know they don't have like a single-digit loss number or anything, but you could just tell with the way that they were competing early on this season that they were a different-looking team. And remember when we asked head coach Beverly Smith about long-term postseason goals, she was like, look, at the beginning of the season, I mean, our goal was just to make it back to the NCAA tournament. You forget because of how they've played this season that their biggest goal is just to get back in.
She said they had to zoom out and evaluate where they were as a program. Part of the problem last year, Bev Smith thought, was that last year was the youngest team she could remember having. Most of them returned, and they added some really good transfers. That's to short and Armistead.
And she told us too, we're a team that's continued to get better. We are united and committed and excited about where we may go, just figuratively as a program, and I think also in real life, like where they may go for regionals. I think they're excited just to see and be back in.
Haley Simpson will bat for the first time. And Simpson says it was worth the wait. First pitch she sees in the game is a 1-out single.
Haley Simpson aggressive, and the count goes up swinging, keeps her head down on that outside pitch and gets behind that ball. Opposite field single. It's been a long time since South Carolina has had a runner on the base pass all the way back to the 4th inning.
Snaps a streak of 11 in a row, retired, and it's Simpson, who does have 8 walks and a good on base percentage, but was only 5 for 31. Emma Sellers now takes a strike.
On that swing, Haley Simpson broke her bat. Oh yeah,
Oh.
You see on the follow through. I was watching the ball before. It's the weirdest feeling when that happens.
Ball.
Simpson scrambles back to first. The throw goes into right from Davis. Kearney's throw to second is not in time. And Haley Simpson, who gave Lindy Ray Davis something to think about, ends up at second on the E2.
Yeah, Lindy Ray Davis has been so good back behind the plate and has a good arm, but Kuma raises up her hands like, what's happening here? Threw it behind her. Kuma didn't have any chance of catching that one.
Yes.
Remember, South Carolina is such a good base stealing team. They've been caught twice today by Davis, but that's her first mistake. And a runner at second for Sellers. Another bunt, that one's foul. Haley Simpson, by the way, you never know who's going to be the hero. And Haley Simpson just picked up her first hit since March 3rd against Columbia. And now she could be the winning run in the SEC tournament. One of the reasons why we love this game. Sellers smokes it. Base hit to left. Simpson's getting the wave in. Goodwin's throw beats her by a mile. Jaden Goodwin cuts down Simpson at the plate, and the game remains tied.
You know, I like the decision to go there and send her home. I mean, this has been such a low-scoring game. That was the first opportunity from either team with a runner in scoring position. And Emma Sellers hit that ball hard to the left side. Any play home has to be played perfectly. There's a million things that can go right, but go wrong, but Georgia plays it right. No obstruction, the throw, the catch, the tag. Play Georgia defense stepping up to keep this a tie ball game.
It was Kevin McGuire, the volunteer assistant coach, with the send home. Goodwin with the assist at the plate. And there comes up with the outfield assist, her 3rd of the year. And the game still tied as Brooke Blankenship will bat. Goodwin, Gonzalez, Whitley. So many great plays in left field in this tournament. That is sawed through the right side. Kevin McGuire's got the wave on again, and this time South Carolina gets the run. Blankenship out of the 9 spot has put the Gamecocks in front.
Bottom of the lineup for South Carolina, getting it done. Picking up this team and swinging early in the count. Bit of an inside-out swing by Blankenship, and you can tell it surprised Jaden Fields. She knew that pitch was going to be on the inside corner, wasn't expecting something to be hit hard her way. Gets all the way to the outfield, and this time sending the runner who was in scoring position home pays off.
Their batting average leader, Brooke Blankenship.
Ball.
One of those transfers we talked about that's injected some juice into the program, coming from a great program in Florida State. Again, a program where it was tough to crack the field. She's come here. She started every game at shortstop.
Ball.
Can you believe that we made it through a full 7 innings without anybody being in scoring position before this inning? I mean, that's a definition of a pitcher's duel. No chances.
Yeah, their only run, South Carolina, was a homer.
That's it.
3 other base runners all at first. And now 3 hits in a row, and that one's off the glove of Davis. And Blankenship takes second. Should be a pass ball against Lindy Ray Davis.
I don't think so. No, go ahead.
Bev Smith conferring with Chris Carolina. The first inning was the 8th. It'd be unstoppable.
That's right.
1 run in 14 regulation innings. They've scored in the 8th both nights. Jordan Fabian, 3 strikeouts in the game. Armistead, Goodnight, Mosley, 9-1 and 2 are due up for the Bulldogs.
Ball.
3-2 for Fabian.
Just better swings overall in this inning for sure for South Carolina. Haley Simpson was aggressive and she got that hit off of the first pitch, and bottom of the lineup hasn't looked back.
Fabian 0 for 6 in the tournament. Fabian walked. The appeal is to third because the first base umpire, Marty Abzetian, is off of first. So no swing according to Brian Crochet, and a walk for Fabian. Two on, 2 out, Zoe Leno. South Carolina with the lead thanks to Brooke Blankenship's single. Her first RBI in 2.5 weeks. A run she drove in against Shelby Walters. One and 1 to Leno. Four Gamecocks in a row have reached. She's waiting. She's working on her lip balm.
Ball. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2. Ball.
Got away. Did she swing? It's a wild pitch if she didn't. And George is not going to appeal. So second and third, Blankenship and Fabian move up a base.
Things have definitely started to snowball a little bit for Georgia.
I should say pass ball there against Davis, who's had a tough inning here behind the plate. Second pass ball of the inning. And a strikeout of Leno. That'll do it. While we sit and wait, Columbia, South Carolina to Fayetteville, Arkansas tonight. Donnie Goborn 3 outs to get. And the pinch hitter, Lauren Burnett, will bat for Ellie Armistead. Burnett, Goodnight, and Mosley trying to do something that neither Texas A&M nor Georgia to date has done. Dent Donnie Gobourne. Burnett 3 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. And down to the count 0-2.
We've talked a lot about Donnie Gobourne, and of course rightfully so, but got to give credit where credit is due to the South Carolina pitching staff and the way that they've shown up here to Fayetteville. Carson Oakes yesterday being the opener, today Bailey Bettenbaugh. And then, of course, Donnie Gobourne doing what she's done in both games, coming in relief. I mean, but they've just been pretty much unhittable. When runners have gotten on, the very few runners that have gotten on, they've just been able to step up and shut down opponents. Only giving up 1 run in 2 games.
15 innings, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks. That's a 3rd strike. It was not caught. And Burnett walks to the dugout anyway. Strikeout number 8 for Gobourne, who has K'd the last 4.
Soak it up while you can. Donnie Gobourne pitching in the SEC tournament. Next week she'll be pitching in the NCAA tournament, trying to help South Carolina potentially make it to super regionals. Wouldn't that be something? With her rise ball, her changeup, she is going to be so tough next weekend, or next week I should say, in regional play. Wow, she is so good, so electric.
Should say her 7th strikeout, team's 8th. She is getting better as the game is going on. Now 9 2/3, no runs in the tournament. Dallas Goodnight, 1-1. South Carolina with a win becomes the 2nd double-digit seed in the history of the SEC tournament to make it to the semis. The other was Auburn in 2019. And Auburn awaits the winner of this game. Popped up to 3rd and Leno. 1 out to go.
When you think about Georgia, on the other hand, Kevin losing 2 to LSU and that doubleheader on Sundays, so still have 1 out to play with here, but at this point looking like maybe losing 3 games in a row ahead of the NCAA tournament.
Which they've not done since May 7th through May 11th last year, which is exactly 1 year ago from today. Those were 2 in a row to Ole Miss to end the season, and then they lost to Ole Miss in their first game here at the SEC tournament.
Tony Baldwin did say 3 times that we've made it to the Women's College World Series, we've been 1 and done here at the SEC tournament. So if you're a Georgia fan, no time to panic. Don't worry.
Yeah, just tanking it. Sarah Mosley, the last chance. Mosley, check swing. That ball is foul. And Georgia is down to its last remaining strike. Mosley a double on a 2-strike pitch her last at-bat. A 16 home run hitter in the regular season. Through 80 pitches last night, Donnie Gobourne is about to throw her 79th. On 1-2. Mosley puts it in the air to center field. That ball is trapped. Riley Blampede, who was oh so deep, could not get to it in time. And the Dogs are not dead.
Yeah, Blampede had such a long way to come, respecting the power of Mosley. That ball did end up hitting the ground and going into her glove.
Only walk-off of the year for Georgia came off the bat of Jada Curdy. 10th inning of the Auburn series, and they're going to go ahead and put her on. Which means the pressure will shift once again to the bat and the shoulders of Jaden Fields.
Ball 3.
So South Carolina will intentionally push the winning or the tying run to second. They'll intentionally put the winning run on first.
Ball 4.
Georgia is not going to pinch run for Mosley either, even though she's not a great runner, because they pinch ran for her in the 6th. And if you pinch run now, she's done. Oh, maybe they are going to. Hold on a second. Now Tony Ball was just going to take a timeout. He waved in Sarah first, and then he waved over Kearney.
I'm going to shoot this real quick.
The Arkansas Razorbacks eventually will be playing softball tonight. Shanice Dels looks tired, but she kind of always looks like that, even when she's in the 10th inning throwing 170 pitches. There's a smile from Shanice. We very strongly assume she'll get the ball tonight. And probably Montana Fouts for a second straight day for Alabama. That can wait, but how much longer? Goborn v. Fields in the dirt, blocked by Desiderio. Little bit of history between these two this season. Fields is 0 for 4 against Goborn with a couple of strikeouts. She has also been hit by 2 pitches. Fields takes one low. Runners on base tonight. Georgia still 0 for 6. Out of play, strike 1. Jaden Fields, a 5th-year senior, all 5 of her years at Georgia.
2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1.
Tani Goborn, a 5th-year senior. Those years split between 3 different schools. A 2-1 pitch.
Oh man, best changeup that she has thrown this game was right there. And she got the call too. Got the bottom of the zone, but see, it crossed right at the knees. I think it was below the knees after it crossed the plate. What a big pitch to get the second strike of the AB.
The 2-2. And a star is Goborn. South Carolina, the 10 seed, storms into the semifinals.
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical effect going with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical effect going with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical effect going with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are